Hello, Steve Fletcher here, and welcome to the Everything Guide to Learning to Play Guitar. Before we get started, can I ask you please to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube page, and really help me grow my business. Also, if you've got time, head over to FletcherSteve.com, where you'll find a multitude of resources constantly being updated to assist you with your day-to-day guitar playing needs. Okay, so new song time, and excitingly, a brand new chord for you to get to grips with. It's always a nice thing to do when you get to a brand new chord, something new, something more challenging to do. Of course, your old chords are that little bit more familiar to you, so there's always that little bit of an overlap where you have a new chord and you're trying to slot the how to do it in. It doesn't always happen straight away. You do have to sort of maybe give it a couple of days or a good amount of practice to get that new chord as tightened up as all your older chords. All right, this is completely normal. Quite frankly, it won't go away. That's always going to be the case. Whenever you do something new, it's going to take you a little while to integrate it into the stuff that you've been doing for a little bit longer. All right, we're going to go into She Sells Sanctuary by The Cult. So looking at that C chord, again, just like the G chord, the C is a bit of a stretch from fret 1 all the way across to fret 3. So, little hands might just find it a little bit of a stretch. But keep at it, though, because the more you do it, the more those tendons in your fingers will stretch further forward. So let's have a look at that C chord. Now, C chord can be a little bit of a stretch for little hands, but persevere and you will get it. Those tendons will stretch, okay? So what we're going to do is finger number 1 is going to go on string 2, fret 1. Finger 2 is going to go on string 4, fret 2. And finger 3 is going to go on string 5, fret 3. There is your C. Your C chord, once you've got the hang of it, will sound like this. Now, just to put a spanner in the works for this song before we get to it, is there is a third version of the G chord. Oh my goodness me. This one is not very often seen. It's quite a rarity. Some guitarists just don't do it at all. Once you've got used to doing G the way you do it, that's the way you do it. But it's worth exploring different alternatives to these chords, because you'll find changing from one chord to another, it's easier to do a different version of a different chord from a different chord altogether. So, this version of the G with the 2 and 3 and 4, it's a lot easier to link your C chord into that because of this anchoring of fingers 2 and 3. We've got that jump. Okay. So don't just dismiss it. Give it a good little go. You'll see when I'm playing the song, I'm trying to throw in all those different options. Now, I'm not saying that you should throw in all those different options. I'm just doing it because I'm the teacher and I'm just showing you that those options are there for you. So whichever G you decide to do is fine, but it's there for you if you want to mix it up a little bit. Okay, so let's just take a very little quick glance at this other way of doing the G chord. All right, so you've done G like this, you've done G like this. There is this other way of doing it that kind of goes hand in hand with the C chord. So what we have is finger number 2 on string 5, fret 2. We then have finger number 3 on string 6, fret 3. And we then have finger number 4 down there on string 1, fret 3. Now you can see there that it is the same collection of notes that you get in the 3-finger G. It's just it takes you from C to G that little bit differently because you have fingers 2 and 3 in that same shape for both. There's your C, there's the G. As always, the choice is yours, but it's worth experimenting with. And then just this little alternative way of doing the G chord. Again, it's all the same notes as the 3-finger G. So it sounds something like that. So once you've got the hang of all that, once you've got your hang of that C chord, once you've given that new G a little bit of a go and decided whether or not you'd like to do it, head over to the next video where we will take a really good look at the song She Sells Sanctuary, which features your new C chord.